mock lesson. I will be doing my mock lesson on healthy friendships and boundaries. I will be doing this lesson alone without anyone, so I am going to pretend that students are responding to the lesson. Okay, and I'm going to start now. Hi everyone, welcome back to the group. I'm glad you're here today. Before we start this group, we're going to go over some expectations of the group. The first thing is this is a safe space, so everyone deserves the privacy of this group, which means that what happens in this group stays in this group. Now, if someone is a danger to themselves, to others, it is important that you notify someone, but you will notify someone that is able to help them and not to gossip. So we are going to go on with this group with that understanding. So I just want to go around and just get a thumbs up or a nod so that we can acknowledge that everyone agrees with the group rules. So today we're going to talk about friendship. More specifically, we're going to talk about boundaries and setting boundaries in your friendship. We're going to talk about what makes friendships healthy, what makes friendships feel unhealthy, and how to handle a situation when you have to set boundaries. But before we get started, we're going to go around and do a quick check-in. So I want to just hear one word on how this week has been so far. Okay, I'm hearing people are tired. I'm hearing that people are annoyed, stressed. One person said it was pretty good. So I'm getting both sides. Good week, not so good week, week that needs a little bit of improvement, and that's okay. All right, let's start with the easy part. What makes a good friend? So, when you think of a good friend, what comes to mind? What makes somebody a good friend to you? Okay, I'm hearing some characteristics of good friends like loyalty, funny, someone who listens, someone who doesn't tell your business, someone who doesn't act different depending on who they are around. And that's something that is really important. Okay, I also heard someone say someone who doesn't pressure you to do things that feels uncomfortable to you. And I think that that matters too. A good friend should not make you feel like you have to do things that you're uncomfortable with to keep the friendship. Friendship should be a good feeling. When you're in a friendship, you should not feel like you're in constant contest to keep up with other people. So we talked about what makes people a good friend or what you consider a good friend. But let's just flip it a little bit and let's talk about what makes a friendship unhealthy. What makes a person not feel that warm and fuzzies when you're with them? What are some things that people can do to make you not feel like they're a good friend? What are some signs that a friendship is unhealthy or at least not feeling good anymore? Okay, talking behind your back. I heard that. Sharing private information, embarrassing you in front of other people, only being your friend when they want something. I like that one. Acting controlling, getting mad when you hang out with other people. So they have to be your only friend. And always starting drama. All of these are real examples of an unhealthy friendship. To me, one of the biggest signs that someone is off in a friendship is when it starts feeling draining instead of supportive. If every time you deal with that person, you feel stressed or you feel anxious or irritated, or like you're waiting for the next problem because that person always has a problem, that's something to pay attention to. Another big sign is disrespecting boundaries. If you tell a friend that you're not comfortable with something and they respond by getting mad or guilt tripping you or trying to make you feel fake for saying no, that's not okay. Just because someone doesn't like your boundaries doesn't mean that your boundaries are wrong. It doesn't mean that you have to adjust your boundaries for them. So we're going to also talk about boundaries. So let's pause for a second, because people throw around the word boundaries a lot. But what do you think boundaries actually mean? What do you think it actually is? All right, I like these answers I'm hearing. I'm hearing things like telling somebody what you don't like, saying no, protecting your peace is really important, and being clear about how you want to be treated. So to me, a boundary is basically a limit. It's you being clear about what's okay with you and what's not okay with you, and how you expect to be treated. And it's okay for you to tell people how to treat you. And I think it matters because sometimes girls are taught by setting boundaries that setting boundaries is rude, or mean, or it's not okay. You could be kind and still be clear, saying, I'm not talking about that. Or don't joke with me like that. That doesn't feel good to me. Or I'm not getting in the middle of that. It's not rude, but it's setting boundaries. It's being honest. So we're going to talk about some scenarios. I want to draw some situations and see what you think about them. So I'm going to read the situations and I want to know what you think about them. Okay, let's say you have a friend who keeps asking you to tell her private things about another friend. You keep trying to avoid it, but she keeps pushing you. Then when you finally say, I'm not getting in the middle of that, she gets mad. Wow, so you're fake now? What do you do? How do you respond to that? Your friend is telling you that they want to hear your other friend's business, and because you're not telling them, you're now fake. How do you respond to that? Okay, I'm hearing things like you ignore her, you tell her to stop, say it's not my business to tell. That's a really good one. Or you start to distance yourself from her. Those are all real responses, and honestly, this is the kind of situation where boundaries can feel kind of hard because you don't want drama, and you don't want to lose the friendship, but you also know that the friendship is crossing a line. So a boundary in that moment could sound like, I'm not sharing someone else's business. Or I can be mad. You can be mad, but I'm still not doing that. You can also say something like, that's between y'all. I'm not getting in it. So just making it very clear that that's not something that you are willing to do. And I think this is the hard part about boundaries. It's usually not the boundary itself that's hard, it's the other person's reaction. You never know how someone's going to respond to it, and some people are fine when you set limits. But some people get upset because they were benefiting from you not having one before. So when you start setting boundaries, it can be difficult for the person that you're setting the boundaries with, because this isn't something that they're used to hearing from you. So let me ask this. Why do you think it can be hard to set boundaries with friends even when you know that you need to? Okay, exactly. I'm hearing things like not wanting to lose a friendship, not wanting drama. You may think that that person might want to fight you if that person is an aggressive person, feeling bad and feeling scared that they might even turn other people against you, and not wanting to seem mean, or that they may even lie on you and flip the situation over to make it seem like you were the person who was trying to start the trouble. And that's real. A lot of people stay quiet in friendships because they don't want conflict, or they don't want to be to be the one that's being blamed for the friendship changing. But the truth is, saying yes to something that makes you feel uncomfortable just to keep peace usually doesn't bring peace. It keeps you feeling uncomfortable longer. And I'm not saying that every friendship problems mean that you need to cut someone off, but sometimes people can talk things through and things get better. But I do think that it's important to notice when a friendship is constantly making you feel stressed, small, pressured, and disrespected. And those friendships are friendships that you may not be able to repair. So before we wrap up, I want everyone to think about one thing you're taking away from the group today. It could be something that you realized about a friendship, something that you want to work on, or even just boundaries that you know you need setting. You need help. I'm going to do that part over again. Something that you want to work on, or even just one boundary you know you need to get better at setting. Okay, so now I'm hearing things like respecting boundaries. Not every friendship is healthy just because they've been around for a long time. People change, relationships change, but just because of the longevity does not mean that you have to be uncomfortable in that relationship. Something else I heard someone say is, I can say no without being rude. I love all of these takeaways. If you want to leave with one thing today, it's this. Healthy friendships should feel safe. Healthy friendships should feel respectful, and they should feel mutual. They should not constantly have you stressed out. They shouldn't have you embarrassed. They shouldn't make you feel pressured or feel like you have to change yourself to keep a friendship alive. All right, so thank you for being honest today and for being willing to have this conversation, because this is a tough conversation to have. I want to thank everyone for sharing. Next time, we'll keep talking about the boundaries and maybe even practice what it sounds like to speak up in a friendship without feeling guilty about it. Okay? And I will see everyone next week.